welcome to another episode of Qahal Talk. I'm Jacoby Johnson.
I'm Kyle White.
Pastor Robert Qahal.
Yes, sir. As we know, if you follow our Facebook, you know that we have a special guest with us, Mr. Robert Powell, Pastor Robert Powell.
Yes,
Could you
sir.
tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah, man, I'm a pastor of Victory Tabernacle, 902 Huron Street. I'm a husband, and I have five phenomenal children. 3 children, 2 bonus children. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So today's topic, we're going to talk about fatherhood. This is our Father's Day edition. And happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there.
Yes.
And on behalf of Pastor Chad, he won't be with us today. He told me to tell you guys happy Father's Day. He's out of town right now on a meeting. But happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the topic today is fatherhood. Fatherhood. And I just came up with just a few questions, important questions. What makes a good father? What makes a good father?
Obviously, the first step is, of course, letting God be the head.
Yes.
As we know, the Ephesians chapter 5, I believe, speaks of the husband's the head of the wife and the wife's the head of the children. But, the father, the husband, he's leading the family, but how is he doing that? He's doing that by trusting in the guidance and the wisdom of God. God did call the husband to lead, the father to lead.
Yes.
And that was ordained by God, even with the beginning of Adam and Eve. He made Adam first, then he made Eve out of Adam's rib. But even when the first sin was committed, even Paul solidified saying that like Eve was deceived, but Adam was the one who sinned because God first gave Adam that direction and instruction of how he should lead Eve. So I'd say that's definitely the first step of a good father is letting God be your covering, letting God be your head. Understanding that we like especially as men, we like to be like, I got this, I can do this, but we have to, it's a real place of humbleness we gotta take ourselves to come before God and be like, Father, I need your help. We don't like asking for help sometimes.
Yeah.
But spiritually side, yes, that's be a good father. Now, we know there's some natural things too, which the Bible gives us answers, but not for everything. Such as what if your son is in prison? Like, what you going to do then? Like, of course you're going to pray, but also naturally, how do you address that? Like, how do you address something as severe as that?
Amen. Absolutely. I was thinking also too, a father provides. You know what I'm saying? First Timothy 5:8 speaks of providing for your own household. And if you don't, you're worse than an infidel. So a father is someone who provides. I think about God, our Father. He provided a way back to him. And so, that provision is very, very important. And I really don't respect a man who doesn't provide for his family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you talk about manhood, some people are biologically boys, male, but are not men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's unfortunate that we have, boys who don't know how to be men. But I believe that that stems from upbringing. You know what I'm saying? That stems from upbringing. And not to bash women, because we need women. Thank God for women. I love God. Thank God for women. You know what I'm saying? Praise God for women. But I believe that a man plays a vital role in the family. And when that male is not present, the family is affected by that. You know what I'm saying? The family is affected by that. We see, and then too, it's unfortunate because even when on the flip side of that, when we have, say for instance, that's why, we want the order of God. Because God would have, before procreation starts, a husband and a wife. You know what I'm saying? Who are committed to each other so they can be committed to the child. Because I believe the child needs the father and the mother. But unfortunately, what we're dealing with, what we have in our communities now, is a lot of single households. And thank God for the women. I'm definitely not bashing the women. thank God for the women, but it takes a man to raise a boy.
Yes.
It takes a man to raise a boy, because if not, we have boys who don't want to, they have children, but are not fathers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have children all over the place, but won't raise them.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with conflict.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know how to provide.
Yeah.
You know?
I definitely agree with that. It's levels and steps to this. You
Yes,
gotta
sir.
first learn how to be a man.
Yes.
Before you be a father.
Yes.
If
yes.
you skip that step, learn how to be a man, you will be. I don't think you will be a great father.
Mhm.
Much of a great father, because you can't teach your children, or especially your son. You can't teach
Yes.
your son about how to be a man or fatherhood. You know, and it's very important to have that father that'll be there to teach you that, how to be a man. And I agree, women can teach things. We need women, we need mothers.
Yes.
But it's something about someone who's the same sex as you,
Yes. Yes.
a man that can teach you, that's been through life.
Yes.
They've been
yes.
through life, they've been through hardship, everything. And they can teach you how to go through that.
Yeah, man, you said something that I want to hit on. A woman's life and a man's life are different.
Yeah.
We have
Yes.
different, you know, we have different things that we have to deal with. And not only that, we have different makeups. You know what I'm saying? What we, you know, within us. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times you think you're helping, a mother may think she's helping, but she has to step back, even if, like, even single parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Allow him to be with his uncle.
Yeah.
Allow him to be with a man that you can trust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And step back.
Yeah.
Step back. Don't, because a lot of times that's my baby. And when he grow up, he gonna still be your baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna still be giving him money, still supplying him food, supplying him, the goal is, when raising children, the goal is to get to, when I don't want to do it, but the goal is, when we grow up, when I get older, I want to be able to lean on my children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to lean on my children. If I need any help, my sons are supposed to step in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And do that. But they can't if we raise weak men.
Yeah.
Weak men who don't know how to stand up, don't know how to speak up. You know what I'm saying? It's so important. It's so important.
Yeah, definitely. One thing about what you said with pulling back,
Yes.
they need a helping situation, and it's vice versa too. Like, let's say, we got the man the father has a daughter, and
Single parent,
yes,
father.
yeah, single parent father with a daughter. And let's say
Yes.
she go through her month.
Yeah.
And then, like, hey, I need auntie, like, sister, like, hey,
Somebody
somebody help me out. Like, there's roles to this. Like, there's a reason why God made it male and female, why he made husband and wife to be together in unity, because God understood that they'd be able to function together,
Yes,
the Bible
yes.
says, if a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing.
Yes.
And there's a good thing, because even with Eve and Adam, he said he made Eve to be Adam's helpmate, to help him out. You need a helper. So
Yes.
it's vice versa. The man needs the woman needs the male. The father and mother has to work together. But unfortunately, in today's world, we see a lot of single parents. Sometimes, even like, if they are together, it's like very hateful and spiteful, and then they may even separate. And it's just, and that affects the children also.
Yeah.
And that definitely affects the children and their upbringing and how they even may perceive what it is to be a father or mother when they grow up. And then, it's going to pass on to the next generation if no correction is put in place.
Right. I believe also too that, a father plays different roles with different children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is, with my daughter, my daughter's very spoiled. I mean, she is. She's very spoiled. But what I had to do is, when I knew that she needed correction and my wife would get on her, I actually had to leave the room.
Yeah.
I had to go do something, because it was always, my goal to never have my daughter feel any pain. So like when I saw, when the tears came, that was it. That was it. I'm like, baby, wait, but I knew that it was for her benefit. So I had to go ahead and I had to leave. But also too, what I did was like, I would take my daughter on dates. I would say, we're gonna have a date night. You know what I'm saying? And so my goal was to show her how a man is supposed to treat her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, I believe, our goal for our daughters.
Yeah.
Our goal for our daughters. Now for the men, we our boys, we train them to be boys. And then also too, what that means is, like I said, I had to leave the room when correction was kind of needed for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because Lord knows, I'm like, maybe come on, let's go get some ice cream. You know what I'm saying? But then also too, on the flip side, when it was time for correction for my boys, my wife had to learn to step back. You know what I'm saying? Look, you too rough on them. You too rough. Well, life is rough.
Yeah.
Life is hard for men. They will chew you, especially for a black man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They will chew you up and spit you out and don't even care. You know what I'm saying? We have to, we have to be rough. Yeah. We have to be strong. Yeah. We have to be committed, and it starts in the home. Yeah. It starts in the home. You know what I'm saying? Even my son right now, my youngest son, he's learning how to drive, and he was pulling out the driveway, and he was kind of pulling out kind of crazy. And my wife was like, babe, go help him. I said, no, I'm not going to help him. He got to learn. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Because a mother will try to jump in and that's my baby. No, step back. Let that boy be a man. He's going to get it. Yeah. I learned. He has to learn.
Yeah. No, I was at a church, at my dad's church actually, not too long ago, and the preacher was talking about, I think he was talking about fatherhood, it might be Father's Day. And he was talking about how the wife will jump in sometimes. Yeah. He was telling the audience, like, sometimes you got to step back. Let the father do the father thing. And this is what I like what he said. He said, the father is he's learning still how to be a father.
Yeah.
Because every child is different. Yeah. Even though we might have had a good father ourselves, they taught us how to be a father and this and that. But every situation is unique. Every child is different. You might have to father this child differently than how you came up. I thought that was interesting.
Absolutely. Every child, I believe, may need something particular. But then also too, I love what you said about let the mother step back. Yeah. It was this one thing that someone was talking about, and they were having like a men's summit. Mm-hmm. And the boys came, the women were not allowed in the men's summit, which I think was great. And so like when the boy came out, the mom was like, what y'all talk about? He was like, men stuff. And she was like, I need to be in there. And I was thinking, no, there are times when a woman needs to step away. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A woman needs to step away and allow that boy to become a man. Mm-hmm. And there's no way that a boy can become a man without another man. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, like I said, we're living in a time where we have single parent households. Yeah. But, and I'm not saying just give your son away to just anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We need prayer and discernment. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We need to pray on that. But if you are in a single parent household, it's vitally important to get a man in his life that you can trust. That, you know what I'm saying, that can allow him to come from a boy to a man. It's nothing worse than a feminine man. It's nothing worse. It irks me. It irks me. You know what I'm saying? Come on, be a man. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, it may not be that boy's fault. Yeah. It may not be the boy's fault because you mothered him and you just, that's my baby, and let him be with a man. Yeah. Let him be with a man so he can learn. Yeah. Let him go out and get his hands dirty. Let him cut grass. Let him, you know what I'm saying, learn how to work on cars. Let him know how to go and get a job and keep a job. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I grew up with basically all women. My mama, my sisters. I had 3 women I lived around. I was the only boy. Uh-huh. So I always loved going to their house. He had 2 brothers. So it was more males over there, so I want to go over there. You with my kind, you know what I'm saying? That's why I love going over there, because I wanted to like, because you know usually in the family dynamic, the youngest usually follows the one that's above them, the oldest. I didn't want to carry those traits with me as I grew up, so I want to hang around some brothers, some men.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely agree with y'all. You gotta hang around. Whether it's your uncle, maybe your father has passed on, maybe your father may be in prison. Mothers find a good man, a good uncle, a good maybe your granddad that they can hang around with, and learn how to be a man and a father.
Exactly.
That's where the community aspect comes in too.
Yeah.
That's how you grow those. That's how you find those people that you can trust. That's how you find those people like, hey, I can have Mr. So-and-so that owns the barbershop, to run to my son if something happened,
Right.
Or if even the father's not even in life, like, hey, Uncle so-and-so, like, I trust you, you can, impart into him what it means to be a man, like, show him what it's like to be a man, groom him, shape him, just as we let God the Father groom and shape us to be his children. That's the same way how it is for a father to a son and a mother to a daughter.
Amen, absolutely. And I was thinking also, too, when, as mothers, and I don't mean to bash women, because like I said, we thank God for women. I love women. But you have to, say for instance, it didn't work out. Say for instance, for whatever reason, still allow that man to be in that child's life.
Please.
That is needed. You know what I'm saying? Even if y'all can't get along. Allow that father to be there. And then also, too, fathers, don't take no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we like, that my baby mama. Well, I mean, you took 5 minutes to create them.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Now that they're there, do what you need to do to be present in their life. Because, a mother can say whatever, but your dad ain't this, your dad ain't that. But if you are present, they're going to grow up and understand. They're going to be like, you know what, dad do love me. Dad was trying to be there. Dad was, so fight for your children. Because it is so important. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we feel like, man, it's easier just to, just give it on up. No, fight for them kids. Be present for them kids. Show up. And it's important. What I love about what my father did, he showed up for everything. And, on my assemblies, on if I did anything. If I was, and matter of fact, my father was the type that, like, if I was on the basketball team, he became the coach. He was overly present. You know what I'm saying? And then too, when after the game, he like, oh, we're finna go in the backyard and we finna, you know what I'm saying? We gonna go over some drills and this and that and that. And then too, I thank God for my mother, because my mother stepped back. She was like, baby, he tired. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes mothers be like, that's my baby. Come on, baby. He all right. You know what I'm saying? It was time when I would play basketball and I didn't do well. And my mother would be like, well, baby, at least you tried. My dad was like, no, we finna go after this game. We finna go and work on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you need that roughness. You need that roughness from your father. That push. You know what I'm saying? You need that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, a mother is nurturing and, and loving. And that is important as well. But you need that balance. You need that balance of fatherhood.
One thing that definitely just from my father, he always like just instill in me that you need to work. Yes. He didn't just hand me things. He didn't. You already know. He didn't hand me things. He always say you need to get a job. But then like he gave me the mentality. Like when I was like 10 years old, like man, I can't wait to work.
Yeah.
So like I can get my own things and all that. And then also like a good effect I would say of my father being in my life is like whenever I'm helping people at my job or so, they say be like, especially like and I noticed it to be like primarily like the demographic be older black women. Be like, yeah, your mom and grandma did a good job. And I'm like, my father and mother did a good job. I say father first.
Yes.
No, my dad was in my life.
Right. That is so important. And one of the great things I appreciate about you, man, is that when you wanted to work, because unfortunately we have a lot of men who don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? They have, I would always tell my daughter, I said, don't you be working and, allow this man to drop you off in your car and then come back, pick you up late. You know what I'm saying? Gas on E. You know what I'm saying? But what I appreciate about you, man, is the fact that you work. And even like, there are even times when, we be on vacation. And I'll be like, man, what's wrong? You be like, man, I want to work. I need to get back to work. I need to make some money. And you know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing, because we have men right now who don't want to work. Who don't want to work. They will allow their women to work and work them to death. And then too, not only that they expect their women to work and then come home and take care of the home, take care of them, and they're not doing anything. Yeah. They're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. We need to. Well, like I said, it goes back to protectors.
Yeah.
We as men are protectors. We're protectors of our families. We're protectors of our women. You know what I'm saying? When trouble happened, we shouldn't be like, oh, baby, go check what that is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We should be like, wait a minute, baby, I got it. And guess what? Even if we're scared, even if we're like, man, I don't know, let me, you know what I'm saying? But at least be man enough to get up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe manhood is not the absence of fear, but it is, manhood is with fear entailed. Yeah. I'm still gonna move.
Like the word says, you love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life up for the church.
Yes, absolutely.
You take the bullet.
Absolutely.
As scary as that is, you take it for your children and for your wife.
And then too, it is scary. And then too, a lot of times, people don't, women don't understand the weight of manhood, the weight of fatherhood. A lot of times, and my wife, I had to let my wife know, babe, I'm all right. And, I like to internalize things. Yeah. I don't, what I'm saying? I'm not always going to express. Yeah. And especially I've learned growing up as a man, you know what I'm saying? You just hold on to it. And, because a lot of times, I feel like, and when I have been vulnerable with my wife, I feel like it kind of backfired on me. You know what I'm saying? She'll bring it up again. You remember when you was, no, you know what I'm saying? I you know what I'm saying? What I learned through manhood, and that I think women have to understand, is that men, we don't, as fathers, we are carrying a major weight. Yeah. We're carrying a major weight, and we don't always want to verbalize that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Babe, what's wrong? You okay? I know you're going through, but I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And that's generally what I'll say, man, I'm good.
You don't want them to see any weakness.
Yeah.
All the pressure's on you. You have that, I also speak for myself, sometimes you have that fear of failing.
Yeah.
Failing the family or failing yourself.
Yeah.
In different aspects.
And then too, man, just, now that I am a father, a grandfather, I didn't fully appreciate my father when I was growing up. I didn't fully appreciate it. I just, what I'm saying, because like I said, I was like more my mother. Because my mother was the one who bandaged me up and, then cooked for me and come here, baby. It's, this and that. I didn't fully appreciate my father because he was always working. Yeah. He would, he was always doing. He was always, and sometimes, and that's what I decided with my children. Always, try to let them know verbally, I love you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I love you. I'm proud of you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because for fatherhood, we just go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're built different than women. Yeah. We're built different than women. A woman is more of a nurturer. Yeah. But it does not mean that the father loves you any less. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The father, we just love differently. Yeah. We just love differently.
And I like that you said that. It reminded me, I really didn't appreciate my father coming up as well. Mm-hmm. Now that I look at it, he was trying to put me in the right direction. Whenever I was with him, he was, from a kid's perspective, man, why you being so hard on me? Right. Leave me alone. Just let me play the game, bro.
Yes.
And he was just teaching me just life skills, taking care of yourself, wash yourself, dress appropriately. And another thing that I like that he instilled in me is speaking. You know, I'm a quiet person. But every time we had a family function, he would always say, "Speak up, speak for yourself, announce yourself. When you go in people's houses, announce yourself, speak with them." And that stays with me to this day. You know.
Absolutely, and I believe that, you know, man, fathers, you know, teach what mothers can't teach.
Yeah.
Fathers teach what mothers can't teach, and you know, you can tell by just being in the presence of someone who doesn't have a father present.
Yeah.
You know, so you can really tell. You can really tell, but you know, we have to, even if we didn't have that father, or the father wasn't there, or we didn't understand, or we didn't appreciate, now we have another opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And then too, not only our biological children, sometimes God will allow you to be a father to someone else, a mentor to someone else. You know what I'm saying? And so I always try to carry myself that if other people are looking at me, that they can, you know, be pointed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? They can be pointed in the right direction. And that's why I like, even I tell, you know, my youngest son now, he is starting to drive. And I tell him, I said, now listen, and he like, and then too, he'll do like I would do when I was growing up. I'm like, Dad, I got it. We yet still have to drill that in, because like when I tell him, now man, you driving, you know, when, you know, and the type of car that you have, they're gonna probably pull you over a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because not only are you black, but you're driving in a, you know, a sporty type of car.
Right.
I always tell him, bless you. I say, man, look, when they pull you over, 9 times out of 10, you got 5 minutes before they come to the car. When they come to the car, you have your license, your registration, and your insurance already out, because you don't want to reach for anything with them, because they can say, man, I thought he had something. I thought he was, you know what I'm saying? And as a father, it's my job to instruct him of how to handle those situations. We have to prepare the next generation.
Yeah. I think you told me this. His father, my Uncle Taz, my pastor, they drilled in me that make money to work, but also you gotta have time for your family.
Yeah.
You gotta have time for your family. I believe I have a goddaughter, but I'm not yet a real father yet. I think that'll be one of the challenges. I think that's a challenge for every father, is you have to, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
You got to provide for how many children you have. You know, they're expensive. And sometimes work takes a chunk of your time out for you to be with your wife and to be with your kids. And even my goddaughter, every time she called my wife, she'd be like, what goddaddy doing? He working. She's like, he always at work. So I'm thinking like, man, what if she was under my roof? And she was saying it like, man, he always working. Why he ain't always around? I think that's something difficult to work through.
Yeah, man, it does take a balance. It does take a balance. But what I am impressed, and I've learned to deal with it. But your goddaughter, she like worships the ground that this dude walks on. She really. But I mean, I feel like that's a good sign, because that lets me know that he's going to be a fantastic father. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be present, like you said. You know what I'm saying? We have to be present. Like my father, although, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't appreciate it. I appreciate it now. The fact that my father would show up tired. My father would get off work and yet still come to my basketball games. He would show up and just be there. There were times where, and I'm a writer. When I first started, writing my plays, when I first started, it was only about maybe 3-4 people in the audience, honestly. And it was my mother, father, and my wife. That was pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? And they, but my father never. I remember one time, I was like in the back. I was upset. I was like, man, I ain't doing this no more. I'm tired, because it was only like 4 people there. My mother, my father, my wife, and my father said, he said, well, he came back behind stage and he said, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know. I'm just, he said, well, look, I paid my money. I want to show. And that let me know that, as a man, even when no one shows up, even unfortunately, a fatherhood is a thankless job. We don't get the accolades, just like even now, today is Father's Day.
Yeah.
You can best believe you can go out to any restaurant right now and you can get in free. Well, not free, but you don't have to have a wait. On Mother's Day, it's an hour and a half wait. You know what I'm saying? So, it is almost a thankless job. Now, of course, I understand because a lot of fathers aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. But if you are a father, if you have a father, celebrate your father. Yeah. Love on your father. Appreciate your father. Because the world tears them down. You know what I'm saying? Even, you were talking about, working. When you go to work, man, it's hard. It's rough. And you know what I'm saying? When you get home, I would admonish the women, the mothers, the wives. When your husband gets home, make that home a place of peace. Yeah. Don't let that be another battle that they have to fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Allow them, when they come, and then too also, and you were saying, you work, because honestly, there were times I'll call my daughter, I'm like, what Kobe doing? She'd be like, he working. I'm like, man, he always working. but the thing about it is I appreciate that. I thank God for that. But when you come home, you know what I'm saying, as a wife, a mother, allow your husband to relax. You know what I'm saying? Even if there are children there. Don't, as soon as he hit the door, throw the children at him. Well, Johnny did such and such. No, let him decompress for a minute. And then, attack that. I'm not saying fathers don't address the house. Address the house. But also, too, mentally. Yeah. We need, because men, we go through a lot mentally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your fathers, we go through a lot mentally. And it is important for you to take care of your mental health as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And whatever that means, if that means talking to someone, talking to a pastor, and guess what? Talking to a psychiatrist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That is, there's nothing wrong with that. I often tell people, I say, when we have high blood pressure, we take a pill. You know what I'm saying? Even, us right here, right now, all three of us, we all got glasses on. Yeah. So we went to, we said, my vision isn't right, so let me go to somebody to help that. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, especially us as men, don't be weighed down so much, because what happens is eventually we snap. Yeah. Eventually we you know what I'm saying? And then too, we are physical. We're strong. We're the stronger vessel. Yeah. So we can do more damage. You know what I'm saying? And we can do the damage to our families, our children. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Get what you need. Speak to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's a dangerous time. Like you coming home and you tired. Little so did what? He did what?
Right.
He did what?
Exactly.
Go to town on him, man.
Exactly.
What all these you thinking?
Exactly. yeah, man. So that is important, man. That is important.
And then just based off you say that in that example you gave, that's also another thing that a father brings. Also is a fear factor, not a bad fear, but like a respect factor. Like especially like single mothers, or sometimes it's like the children are disobedient to their mothers, and then if they say, "What's your father get home?" Right there, that just
right.
heartbeat fast. I remember like when I do something wrong, and then. If I hear my dad car pulling up, I'm like, oh man, stomach start bubbling.
Right.
It instills that respect factor right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Which not saying mothers can't do that, but a father can enforce that greater than a mother can.
Yeah, respect, strength. I was remembering one time for me, my father, I could manipulate, honestly, my mother. Yeah. I really could. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because, I'm like, Mom, and I love my mother. I really do love my mother. But I'm like, Mom, let me get some money. And she would always be like, man, I ain't got no money. I'm like, Mom, I know you got some money. You got some mad money. And she was like, okay. And she was like, one time she asked me, she said, why you always ask me for money and not your dad? I said, well, Dad, he want his money back. You know what I'm saying? It was a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? I knew I could sweet talk my mother. You know what I'm saying? I could sweet talk my mother. You know what I'm saying? And Mom, I need $20. I ain't got no money, Mama. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing my dad would be like, well, why you ain't got no money? What happened to your money? You know what I'm saying? He said, no, look. Either you need to work more, or you need to, to manage your money better. Now, look, I'm gonna give you this money, but when I'm gonna get it back? And you know what I'm saying? And these were the things that taught me. That instructed me, even when I was young. I can remember like maybe 8 or 9. My father said, I'm gonna give y'all jobs. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm 8. What is he talking about? And he was like, in the winter you gonna shovel snow, in the spring and summer you gonna cut grass. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, we would only make maybe back then we made like $10, for shoveling or cutting grass. But it made me feel so good to know that I got my $10. I can go to the store and be like, here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be like, Dad, can I have this? Dad, can I have that? And that's what we have to instill in that next generation as fathers. You know what I'm saying? No, look, because as we know, ain't nobody going to give us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to give us nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to work for whatever you got. And we have to instill that in that next generation.
Free.
Yeah, nothing's free. Nothing's free. And if it's free, you don't want it. If it's free, you don't want it. I'm telling you. Yes.
Oh man.
Well, yeah. Any more comments? We pretty much tackled everything. We talked about the art. What's that?
I thought we still on the first subject.
Yeah. I asked the first question, and we pretty much tackled everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like we said, what's a good father? What's the hardest part about being a father? The uniqueness of fatherhood, and then we talked about mental health as well.
Okay.
So we answered all those things.
But I would think that one of the hardest parts, if I could go back to that, of fatherhood is not fully being appreciated. When you do a job well, sometimes as a father, they just almost take it for granted. They almost take it for granted. Well, Dad, he's just supposed to be here. He's always been here. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for mothers on the flip side, they get the flowers, they get the love, they get the and most oftentimes you don't fully appreciate your father until he's gone. You know what I'm saying? My father, I'm like, man, my dad is gone. And I started thinking about what he instilled in me and what he did, and I was like, man, to be honest, I really didn't appreciate him and thank him for what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because we like, well, that's what you're supposed to do, and yeah, that is true. That's what you're supposed to do, but appreciation is needed. Yeah. It is important. You know what I'm saying? If I would admonish anyone who has a father or a father figure to go and tell them, man, I love you. I honor them. Yeah, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard. It's hard being a father. It is hard being a father. And, it's hard being a husband. It's hard being a man. Yeah. It is hard being a man. It's hard. But it's rewarding because God will strengthen you. He will strengthen you to do what you need to do. But and then even in the midst of not getting that thank you, not getting that appreciation, keep on going. Yeah. Keep on going because like I said, in general, now I'm starting to get more, and I often say on Father's Day, we get a tie. You know what I'm saying? We get a tie. The same old, and for Mother's Day, they throw out the red carpet. But I mean, honestly, for my children, they always come through for me. They always tell me they appreciate me, they thank God for me. But, regardless of that, keep on doing it. Yeah. Even if you don't get a thank you, even if they don't appreciate you, keep on doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? As a man, keep on doing what you're supposed to do. That's why I keep going back to Brother Jacoby about what is instilled in him. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that someone took time and let him know about manhood. And you know, it's unfortunate that we don't have a lot of brothers who know what it takes to be a man.
Yeah.
Know what it takes to, you know, saying to be the head of a household. We heads of households.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the media is trying to tell us,
Yeah.
regardless of, you know, what Oprah or whatever, you know what I'm saying, women, you can do it. No, the men are the head of the households. And we with that weight, it carries a responsibility.
Yeah.
And sometimes, unfortunately, it's a thankless job, but do it anyway.
And one of the ways, of course, I tell my father I love him and honor him. One of the ways, well, I guess it's unique. No, it's not really unique, but one of the ways I honor him by, he bought me a lot of toys in the past, but these 2 action figures he bought for me like
Oh, wow.
10 years ago, I still have them, and I'm
Okay.
gonna keep them. I'm gonna keep them forever. I'm never gonna sell them. And that's just one of what they call them, memorabilia.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something I'll just keep till I die. You know, just to some that if when my father passes on, I have these to think about. You know,
Yeah.
a moment in time.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard, you know, for as fathers, and I had to almost, and I feel like I'm good at it now, but initially, it was hard for me because, like I said, my father wasn't the type to be like, man, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I've gotten very good at it. But I mean, like initially, it was hard for me to tell my children I love them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now my daughter was different. My daughter was, you know what I'm saying? My daughter, you know what I'm saying? That's my heart. She right there. But like my boys, you know what I'm saying? And even there were times where like I would go to sleep. I would take a nap. And I would bring my daughter in and I would lay her right next to me. And then my son would try to, you know, my youngest son would try to lay next to me. I'm like, man, get up off me. Get up off me. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I can remember knocking him away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, get up off me. No, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't know. I just wasn't comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is that as fathers, they not only need to see it and feel it, they need to hear it.
Yeah.
They need to hear, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? Keep on going. It's nothing like a man telling another boy going into a man, I'm proud of you, man. I see you. Keep on doing that. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do that because, you know, as fathers, like I said, it's easy for, you know, well, it was easy for me to tell my daughter, you know what I'm saying, man, you so pretty, I love you, you so special, you this and that. I would constantly load my daughter up with compliments and tell her how proud I was of her. And I had to learn to tell my boys that. To tell my boys, man, I'm proud of you. Man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Now, even now, sometimes I don't do it often now, but you know, I would even, you know, just to mess with them, especially if they have company over. I would like come and kiss them on their head. They're like, Dad, get up. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, like, man, I love you. And he was like, man, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Just to mess with them. But I think that we need to show our families affection.
Yeah.
Show them love. And then too, not only that, the mother of our children, our wives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Show them, you know, because they you know, they go through so much. Carrying a child. Birthing a child, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then too, and then too, you know, I had to learn because, you know, when my wife was pregnant, and then you know what I'm saying, when she had the baby, the doctor said, you know, you got to wait 6 weeks. Yeah. I was counting down. I'm like, man, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm ready. And you know what I'm saying? And we have to, as men, as fathers, you know what I'm saying, take all things into consideration. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And also too, like, you know, there are sexual needs from, you know, a husband to, you know, to a wife. But then also too, I had to learn. My wife would be like, man, I ain't in the mood. I'm like, well, what you need, you know? Hands on you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gonna be in the mood in Jesus' name. But you know what I'm saying? But no, what I had to learn is that like, I had to like take care of the kids a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying, when maybe wash a dish or so. You know what I'm saying? Maybe rub her feet. You know what I'm saying? Allow myself to show her that I see her. You know what I'm saying?
Denying yourself.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice. Because a lot of times as men, like I said, we go out and we work and we come home and we ready. We like, all right, put the kids up. You know what I'm saying? It's time to, it's time to do what we need to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of that, we don't always consider that the woman has took care of the kids. They didn't heard holler kids all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got a meal prepared for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then too, sometimes, and I had to learn to bite my tongue. Sometimes, man, she cooks something, and then you like, man, chicken again? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, look, I done slaved over this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And look, you ain't gonna eat nothing. And so I had to learn to bite my tongue in areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I had to learn to not say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to learn to compliment even when I didn't see a compliment. You know what I'm saying? Times I come home, she looking crazy. The kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, babe, you look so beautiful. And she be like, I do. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to do things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was going to benefit me in the end. You know what I'm saying? That was going to make sure, nighttime is right time, Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then too, man, I was thinking also too, because believe it or not, sometimes we can take things for granted.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, the most beautiful my wife has ever been is when she didn't try to get dialed up. You know what I'm saying? She didn't get her nails done and go to the hairdresser. You know what I'm saying? She just got her hair pulled back and she just relaxing in the house. And I'm like, man. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, and we have to express that, and we should, because sometimes we like, man, here you go again, and she thinking, here you go again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You never know when she go to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Baby, you look, you know what I'm saying? They're catching the compliments, and they're catching folk who are trying to pull them away, especially even the devil. Yeah. The devil hates unity. He hates marriage. Yeah. So the devil's trying to get her with somebody who's going to, treat her right or do right. And on the onset, it looks good. Yeah. But they like, baby, look, you look good. Let me pump your gas. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me do, you know what I'm saying? And then when they come home to us, we like, man. Yeah. We have to learn to fully appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? I was telling my daughter, I said, just as much as you want the wedding ceremony to be wonderful, the real work is going to start after y'all say I do. Yeah. Y'all going to have to work on that. You know what I'm saying? And as men, we have to work on that. We have to bring the flowers. Yeah. We have to, do the little cards. You know what I'm saying? Give our wives compliments. You know what I'm saying? Give her little pet names. They love that.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do, ask a fatherly role model. Or someone that's older than you that's been through where you've been. And, what should I do in this situation?
Right.
She ain't acting right. Or I come home, the kids is everywhere, and she like, man, I've been through that, man. All you gotta do is do such and such and such. You're gonna have a good night. I promise.
I just love the contraction. Like, to you it's all chaos, but to they're just like, oh man,
But I mean, then too, that speaks to speaking to wise counsel. Because a lot of times unwise counsel can destroy your marriage. You know what I'm saying? When I first got married, and my friends, my unmarried friends, they'd be like, I'm like, all right, man, I'm finna call my wife. You about to call your wife? Man, what you mean you about to call your wife? Man, look, and they'll throw little stuff at you to make you feel like, well, ain't you the man of the house? Ain't you can do what you, man, if I was you, I'd come in when I want to.
Feed into your ego.
And then too, and I had to learn, well, yeah, man, you saying that, but you ain't got a woman.
Right, where you going on?
You know what I'm saying? I got a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to keep mine. Right. You know what I'm saying? And because Lord knows, you know what I'm saying, that the devil is slick. Your same bros that will tell you, man, don't talk to man, don't do that. You move out, they be trying to move in. You know what I'm saying?
I heard stories.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Exactly.
Lying.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So we keep your home intact. You know what I'm saying? As a father, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Don't allow, you know what I'm saying, outside sources. And then too, not only that, outside women. I have learned that there's nothing more attractive to a woman than a married man, than a man that is connected to somebody. You know what I'm saying? You may be on your job, and then too, the devil knows. You know, the devil knows he'll try to create chaos in your home, and then he'll send someone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? Be like, you know, I noticed you when you come to work, you ain't even got no lunch. Yeah. I just thought I'm gonna give you this. You know what I'm saying? Look, if I was you, I'd take care of you. She looked like she don't even take care of you. She looked like, you know, and the more we entertain that, the more, you know what I'm saying, we'll fall into that prey, and then something will happen. Yeah. So we have to guard ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Guard ourselves, just like I was talking about with the women. We have to guard ourselves. Because women gonna come at you. They're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? They gonna flirt with you. They gonna want to touch you. You know what I'm saying? And the more and more you allow them to do that, the further they'll go. Yeah. You know.
Trying to test the waters.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a strange woman with the fine linen.
Exactly, man. Yes, even in the house of God, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they got the nerve to sit on the front row. You know what I'm saying? And they you know what I'm saying? The skirt all up to here, and you know what I'm saying? Even I have learned, even when I haven't really done it, but like giving counsel to women. My wife is coming. Yeah. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming without a wife. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if you, and then too, even in a church setting, you know what I'm saying? Say for instance, you know, and you know, being we're supposed to be giving and loving and supportive. Say for instance, woman comes to you, you know, could you give me a ride home? You know what I'm saying? First of all, you need to talk to my wife. Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't be coming up to me, and you know, and then you know, and then too, I've even learned that, like, even when we hug women, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain way that we need to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know what I'm saying? That they press all up on you, and then too, we are men. Yeah. It's just a natural reaction. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I often tell my wife, I said, man, you know, I'm married, but I'm not blind. Yeah. I'm married. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What I saw in you and what I find attractive in you, you're not the only one that has it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But out of respect for you and the man of God that I am, I'm not acting on that. Yeah. I'm not entertaining that. And you know, we have to do that for our women too. And we see, and sometimes, you know, women know when other women are trying to flirt with you. Yeah. Sometimes us as men, we don't be like, man, she ain't. You know, like, no, she wants you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we have to learn to trust our women in those areas.
Yes, sir. We're all out of time. We thank you guys for tuning in for another Qahal Talk. We was talking about fatherhood. If you have a relationship with your father, tell them you love them, appreciate them, honor them on this day. You know, shower them just like you shower your mother on Mother's Day. You know? Yes. But we thank you guys for tuning in. This is Qahal Talk.